I'm Mercedes, here to tell you a little bit about Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or your computer. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. They'll distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
This is Past Due, Hustler's Phone Tap, a candid look inside the life of a working creative, with your host, Experienced Jay.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your girl, Experience Jay, and this is Past Due Hustler's Phone Tap. I'm here with my good friend, spiritual sister, fellow poet, creative, entrepreneur. The list goes on. Lysz Flo. Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
Nothing. Finally getting to talk to you, so I'm excited about this. I know we've been talking about it for a while.
Yes, we have.
So tell everybody a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, all that good stuff.
Well, I am Lysz Flo. I am a host of Creatively Exposed. Well, the host of Creatively Exposed, spoken word artist, author, and working on my second book. And by day, I do none of these creative things. I am in finance.
Okay. What do you do in finance, if you don't mind me asking?
I pay the company's bills.
Okay. Dollar bills?
Yes.
Well, a little background story, just getting off subject a little bit. We actually met on Ghetto Soul Poetry, or GS Poetry.
What a time.
Being
what a
poet.
time to be alive.
So we've known each other for a long time.
Like a decade.
So I'm excited to have you on the show and all that good stuff.
I'm excited.
All right. You said you're in finance, and do you like your job? Like, how do you feel about it?
Whew, so many layers. It's weird. So I like analyzing, and I like numbers, and I like money. So I like the idea of the job. The problem is that once you learn everything about accounts payable, it gets repetitive. So my mind starts to wander. And that's when I start struggling. So when there's deadlines and stuff like that, that's like high stress and high, activity, I'm all in it. But when it's like a regular day-to-day, sometimes my mind's like, I could be editing right now.
Right. I overstand that. Like, I have so many better things to be doing with my time right now. So what's it like for you balancing work and your dream? Like, give us a day in the life of Lysz Flo.
Sometimes life wins and sometimes the dream wins. Usually I wake up early, barely wanting to wake up, and get ready for work. Get to work, and sometimes throughout work I'll jot things down and then get back to work, or listen to something and get inspired. I listen to a lot of audiobooks so that it keeps my mind creative. And then depending on the day, I'm really not one of those writers that's like, I'm gonna go write at like 7:30 every single day. That's So
it's not like planned.
No, because I don't want to lie to myself. Like, I had an alarm and it worked for a little while, but then life took over. So, but there are days that I'm like, I'm going to get this popping, and I'm up to like 10:30, 11, 11:30, just focused. So it's a little,
And I know what you mean about trying to have a schedule, because and we're both Virgos, so we get that. We have that thing where we want to have things in line and in order, but life just does not work out like that sometimes.
No.
Like, especially like the end of this year, last year, I feel like I just got off of the plan. Like, it just derailed all of a sudden. Like, I had things in order. Mondays I did this, Wednesdays I did this, and then now it's like, what does that even mean? So
like, I don't even know what was. Even though the holidays helped me out a lot, like for some reason, taking a break off of the show and everything, I was able to like crank it out before the year ended. So I'm grateful for that.
That's good. That is super good. Have you ever felt stuck while trying to live your dream and work a 9-to-5? I already know the answer, but of course. And tell me a little bit about it.
Oh, man. Especially like the last quarter of last year, I was really, really struggling because sometimes I think we put our jobs in the front seat. Mm-hmm. And when you realize that what really motivates you and excites you is all the way in the trunk and you don't even remember how to open the trunk, you're like, dang, what am I doing with my life? Like, am I really doing what I need to do? And sometimes it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So
you're singing to the choir. You're singing to the choir right now. Like, pass around the collection plate.
Yeah. Like, sometimes it's like, I'll just quit right now. And then,
fuck this job.
Right. And it's like, I'm just, backpack through life and go after my dreams. And it's like, wait a minute. Yeah. You gotta, these bills gonna come with you in your backpack. So I need you to calm down.
Count to 10.
Right.
Get it
right.
together because, no. Man.
Definitely.
So how do you find balance then? Like, what gives you balance? How do you find balance? What things do you do? What's your process?
Therapy. Number one.
Yes.
And I think the definition of what balance is to me, I feel like balance used to be like, okay, everything's on this even thing and this is how it's supposed to be. And I do 50 of this and 50 of that. But it's like, no, it's really understanding that some days it's 80-20 and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But there are other days that you are going in 100% and that's what feels good. And so that's what keeps me balanced. Like those 100% days, those 80%, even those 40% or where I do nothing, knowing that it's completely okay. I create my balance.
And being okay with that.
Yeah, totally. I think self-acceptance and compassion really is what keeps me balanced.
That's dope. That's super dope. What keeps you motivated? Like, what keeps you from giving up? I know we just talked about the balance and how that works in. So what things or what power, whatever you want to call it, keeps you motivated?
How excited I get when I'm doing what I really want to do.
Yeah.
There's nothing that feels like that. It's like an electric high. Mm-hmm. And to know that, this is the feeling of alignment. Like I'm in the right place right now while I'm in this flow. And creating something out of nothing and seeing it come to fruition, no matter how small it is, I get excited.
That's everything. I think that's one of the biggest rushes for me. Mm-hmm. Is just being like, man, I started with even a half a thought. Like I'll find a piece of paper and be like, yo, I remember when I wrote this down, it's like, I'll come back to it maybe later. And now it's this whole big thing, Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And I geek myself up too. I'm always like yelling at myself in the house with aggressive affirmations like, you did that. I push myself to stay motivated.
I love it though. Like you have to, because I feel like so many times, like we just kind of get, I know for me, I get to points where like I'm super, super motivated. And then there are other times where I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing?
Right.
Like, what am I doing?
For sure.
Like, and you just, in those days, you kind of feel like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. What's the point of this?
Yep.
Where am I going? But then I also look at it and be like, could I really stay in this job for the rest of my life?
Girl.
So is that my alternative? Woo. And that's what gets me remotivated because I'm like, hell no.
Like, this is not my 5-year plan, sis. Let's go.
Let's get this thing done. Like, and I think that's part of my motivation tactic. I just look around. Not that my job is horrible.
It's not
horrible. It's just not that. So what do you do when it's not enough? What do?
You make space for more.
Yeah.
Because when it's not enough, that means that you're trying to fit your soul in a small space and it doesn't belong there.
It doesn't belong there.
And it's realizing that, because some people stay in that space forever and it's unfortunate. But when your body is like, yo, I don't fit here, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
So
you gotta make a move.
Yeah.
All right. Tell the people what you're working on and let them know where they can find you. So this is your time. You can shameless plug as much as you would like.
So I am starting out my second season of Creatively Exposed on the 13th. So tune in for that. And that is anywhere you find your podcast, where you listen to Past Due. I'm also working on getting my second book, which is actually a fantasy multilingual poetry book.
Yes.
And that is going to be in different formats. You can check it out at SIQ Book. And that has all of the info, the links that you can check it, pre-order it, all that. My first book is on sale, so you can look at Lysz Flo, and I'll make sure you have that in the show notes because it's hard to spell. Okay. And I'm Lysz Flo everywhere, and that's LYSZFLO.
Okay, that's what I was going next. I'm about to say, hook them up with the social media handles and all that good stuff.
Everywhere, and Creatively Exposed without the E, and that's everywhere too.
I don't know if we talked about this at all, or you mentioned it at the beginning when you were introducing yourself, but tell everybody a little bit about the podcast. Like, what do you do? What it's about, all that good stuff.
So Creatively Exposed was made in order to have a safe space for creatives. And creatives, especially of color and marginalized communities, because I feel like we need empowering. I think we need motivation, some teachings, and just somebody so you know that there's a rough draft before that perfect thing that you created. And so I'm that rough draft part that kind of is like, let's keep going. Come on, come with me. Like, these are my struggles. I know these are probably some of your struggles. So it's kind of like, I'm trying to be your best friend and just push you and keep you motivated.
Yeah, I dig that. So you guys, make sure you tune in to Creatively Exposed. It's on most major streaming platforms. So y'all check that out if you're a creative, or as I like to call, closet creatives who are creative but don't necessarily know it yet, or haven't come out of the closet with it yet. It's time. So let's get that done. And that will lead us right into the mantra of the moment. This is a little segment that I wanted to include, just to let creatives know that, we all going through the same shit. And this is a little word of encouragement. So as the guest, I'm going to let you do the mantra of the moment for the good people.
Take up space. And do not be afraid or apologetic. It is your divine right to take up space. So take up space.
Absolutely. That's self-explanatory. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Take up space.
Yeah, that's definitely my mantra for this next decade.
And how do you plan to take up space?
Actually putting all of my creations out, even if they're imperfect. Speaking up in uncomfortable rooms. Performing more, and doing things scared.
Yes, I feel like I just posted something similar about sometimes you have to do it afraid. I know they say you wait till you're not afraid, or no. Sometimes you're gonna have to
we
do
ain't
it
got
afraid.
time.
And sometimes you're gonna have to do it when you're unprepared. And some people don't even understand that either. Like, sometimes it's gonna be half done, but you just get it done anyway.
Yeah,
someone can take it and use it. So I love that.
And that's where you grow. That not being ready and just throwing yourself out into the air and hoping you'll fly. When you realize you could fly, you're like, oh shit. Like, I really can do this.
Straight up.
Like you halfway
Straight
in
up.
the air, but you still in the air. So take
Just
up
go for it.
space.
Yes. Thank you so much for talking to me.
This
and
was
I appreciate you
fun.
coming on and doing this segment with me. I just really wanted other creatives to really just know, like, all right, you got this 9 to 5. There's ways to balance it. We can figure it out. Everybody is trying to figure out a way to kind of be like, man, fuck this job, so to speak.
Yes.
We are united and we will figure the shit out eventually. So
Yeah.
I just really appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you.
So thank you.
This was fun.
I enjoyed it. All right, guys. See you next week. This is Past Due Hustlers Phone Tap. Later. Hey guys, you know I'm all for supporting our fellow podcasters out there. What you're about to hear up next is a short trailer from the Creatively Exposed podcast, hosted by none other than the very talented Miss Lysz Flo. Y'all check it out.
What is Creatively Exposed? Creatively Exposed is a safe space for anyone who may or may not consider themselves a creative. It is the rough draft, the cross outs, the white outs, the crumpled up paper parts of all the before the final product. You know, the stress, the mind frame, the emotions that go on in the mind of a creative as we work towards that almost perfect final draft of who we are as people and who we are as our final product. And so I wanted this platform to be a hug of sorts for people of color, Black people, brown people, and marginalized communities, because I felt like it was missing, and so why not create what you can't find? So welcome to Creatively Exposed, and don't forget that you are magic.